I wanted to talk a little bit about the Turtle reference page. I get a lot of questions now that you guys are getting into the exercises using Turtle. Oh, how do I do this? Or how do I make it so that it doesn't draw a line as I move the turtle from one end of the screen to the other end of the screen? And so we can go ahead and look at the course overview. And in the course overview, we have a set of resources. One of them is the Turtle reference page, which is a subpage of the Python module reference, which is a subpage of the Python reference page. So if we go ahead and click on the Turtle reference page, it'll take us here. And all this text might scare you when you first get here, but this is a page that will be very useful. So just go ahead and scroll down. And as you scroll down, you can see here are all the Turtle methods. Right? And the Turtle methods are the built-in functions that you can use to get the turtle to do what you want it to do. For instance, we have here forward, which you guys have probably seen in your exercises, which if you put a number in the parentheses, it'll move your turtle forward and maybe 10 spaces or 10 units. If you do a set X and set Y, you can move the turtle from one location to another on the screen. Here with the clear stamp, you're deleting a stamp that you made. One that is very useful early on in the game is here, the speed. So if you increase the speed, it'll draw your name faster, or it'll do whatever you have it doing faster, right? Which is good because the turtle normally runs at a very slow pace, or a relatively slow pace. But yeah, if you have any questions, you could always come here. I get a lot of questions of how do I make a curve. You can look here under circle, right? And circle is a complete circle, but you can also do a portion of a circle, right? So you can do like a half circle to put in the curve of a P, of the letter P in your name, or to put in the curve of a letter D in your name. And yeah, there's all this other stuff here. Another one that is useful, I think, is the pen up, pen down. Right here, pen up, pen down. Pen up takes your pen off the page. Then you can go to an X or a Y, and then you can put your pen back down so that you can move from one side of the page to start on the other side of the page without drawing a line to get there. So yeah, so you can look over these and choose whichever ones you think would be most useful for you. And I guess another thing I wanted to talk about would be the Turtle Lab, right? So we have our lab here in our Runestone Interactive. And so if I go ahead and move over to how to think like a computer scientist, and you guys have gone through these assignments and you're getting to here, right? This is where some of you are getting. If you're not there yet, don't worry, you'll get there, and this will all make sense. Eventually you'll get down here to the exercises and you'll complete all the exercises. I don't want you to move on to the Python modules, okay? Again, like I said, every now and then we'll have a lab, and at the end of the Turtle Graphics unit, we have a lab. And to get to the lab, you can either scroll to the bottom of the page, and under labs we have the Turtle Racing Lab. That's the one we're going to do after the Turtle unit. More importantly, I want you to go to the class website, and under labs, I'm clicking on the lab tab here on the left side. You can see here we have the Racing Turtle Lab. This is the first one we're going to do. Okay? And you can click on here, it'll take you to the page on the IP platform so that you can go through the lab. And you can see it's also here at the end of this chapter, a few more turtle methods and observations. And the extension is here, right? Extension, of course, is if you want to gain those extra credit points, and also you feel like you went through the lab a little early, right? So go ahead and do that. Here's a rubric of how I'm going to grade the lab, so you can go ahead and click here or here to check that out. And you can turn in the code under class assignments. So at the end of the page, I think the very last one at the moment is it says turn in your the code for the Turtle Lab here. Okay, so go ahead and turn in your code there so I can go ahead and double check it if I need to. And also we have a post-lab report. So there's a couple of portions to this, a couple of components to this lab. First of all, you want to do the lab. You want to turn in your assignment under class assignments, right? Turn in your lab. You want to make sure your rubric is fulfilled, right? All the qualifications under the rubric. And then the extension is here if you want to go ahead and do that. And then be sure to to complete the post-lab report, which is just a set of questions asking you, what you were thinking when you were going through the lab and what you were thinking as you finished. Okay, so that's the lab. And the last thing that I want to talk about, or maybe second to last thing, is the quiz. Okay, so I told you there was going to be a quiz after every 2 weeks. We passed the first week, which I don't really count, and then we did last week with our instruction through Interactive Python, and we're doing this week with our instruction through Interactive Python. And so if you go ahead and click on quizzes on the left side, you can see I have a couple of concepts. These are things that I want you to be able to do. Okay, they're not too crazy. They're just kind of like identify this bug or identify the operators and operands in this line of code or whatnot. And then the most challenging portion, I think, would be for you to get the vocab worked out. Right. So yeah, I have a lot of vocabulary here. I think this is going to be the biggest vocabulary list that we're going to go through in one quiz. But go ahead and flashcard it, memorize it. It shouldn't take very long, especially with those who have programming experience. But the way that the vocabulary portion of the quiz is going to be set up is I'm just going to have the words on one side, I'm going to have the definitions on the other side, and you need to connect the two. Okay, so just draw lines between the words and the definitions. These are going to be the exact same words, the exact same definitions. So yeah, there you go. Okay, and I wanted to also talk about expressions and statements and the difference between them. But I'm not sure if I have enough time here on this video. So I guess the last thing that I want to talk about is if you are in the 6th period, I spend the end of my day always shutting down all the computers. So if you guys could help me out and not only log out if you're in the last period of the day, but also log out and then shut down. Okay, so that's about it. You can go ahead and continue on in the exercise that you left off on. Thanks.